Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. It's Saturday. What are you guys all up to? Probably, well, let me guess. Let me guess. Let me guess. um, Same thing that I'm doing, right? Not a whole lot. But if you guys have plans today, let me know. I don't know, Cash. I like to stay spicy. I think it's kind of cute. Stay a little spicy in your attitude. What kind of channel is this? I don't know if we're gonna keep it. It's just something I thought of, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like we could go with a lot of like cool emojis with like different colored peppers and all of that. Candy wrapper, good to see you. Catherine, Cash, good to see you there. Lily Rose. I love that name. Every time I say your name, I love that name. It's such a pretty name. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Hindsight. Hey, Reba. Really? Your dad wanted to name you Spicy? My dad wanted to name me Nicole, but my mom really liked Tanya. So then they settled on Tanya Nicole. That's my middle name. Just oh my gosh, I just doxed my middle name, guys. Hmm. Did anyone else get asked this question? How satisfied are you when opening channel/chat? Wow, Cricket Day. It might be like a some sort of what is it? Survey that they're giving out. Wow. I hope you said that. Yeah, you were very, very satisfied. Hey, Private 91. Did I say hi to you, Catherine? I think I did, but I don't know. So hi again. Hey, Becca's mom, or Bomb's Becca. Hey, welcome into Bo, Jennifer. Still feels early to me. I can't get anyone's names right. Hey, Isabel. Hey, Fred. How are you doing? Hey, Joey. Hey, Nicole. Making biscuits and gravy. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. I haven't had biscuits and gravy since forever and a day. Hey, John Blevins. I used to have a friend called or named Josh Blevins. When I first saw your name, I thought that's who it was. J Dub, welcome in, Cheryl. Or Sherry, sorry. We do have a Cheryl, and where is she? I'm like, and where is she? Spicy is my great grandma's name. I like it. That spicy. Spicy. Thank you, J Dub, for becoming a new member. Thank you. Welcome on in. Hey, Connie. Hey, Froggy. Hey, Naomi. Welcome in, everybody. It's kind of stupid to ask that before the live stream. Do they think that we're all going to be, we're all psychic? Yeah, that's true. They like to do that. They like to do that. I heard that, and I don't know if this is true for a creator, but it might be good for subs too. But if they ask you to take a survey, like take the survey for YouTube, I guess it like can help your channel. Like as a channel person, having a channel, they said that they can like help your channel. And I don't know how true that is, but I do the surveys just to make sure. Just to make sure. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. So today, earlier I was just cruising around YouTube, there wasn't really nothing going on, it seemed like this morning. So I said, oh, wonder what Betty's up to. Well, she's up to being Betty, that's for sure. Um, so I figured we would watch her latest stream and kind of just go over it and laugh because she's entertainment. I mean, she really is. The things that she says and the things that she does and things that she comes up with is just insanity. Oh, I do want to show you guys something else before we start with that because I am so sick of people catfishing out here. People are catfishing all over the place with the like the fake. What are they called? Like it's like your picture, but it's not. It's like animated. I don't know. That thing just kind of freaks me out. But I saw this today and it about blew me out of the water. About blew me out of the water. Okay, look at the second one down right here. See, okay, look at this. Who is this lady on the who is this? That ain't Betty. I mean, it could be Betty, but then look at her picture below. Like, I mean, come on. Uh Picture above. It's a little different. Little catfishing mofos around here. Oh, yeah, me too, right? I'm gonna start catfishing. There's Cheryl. I was just talking about you, and there you come. We call shit. Yeah, it's welcome in. I like that name. Manic Mama, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. So, I have her on here. I sped her up a little bit because I was listening while I was like in the shower, and she wasn't saying nothing about nothing. She was just screaming about politics for the first few minutes. I'm sure she'll be screaming about it a little more. But we'll. Oh, let me share this with you. That might help. Let me make sure the audio is still connected. Okay, it is, because sometimes it likes to unconnect. I don't know. StreamYard's weird. But I'll let the live chat like load or whatever. Sometimes it's kind of funny to watch it. And then if it's not too entertaining, we'll take it off. Usually Seth will pop in there, and it's just funny. Oh, but I do want to actually rewind it back. So okay, so I'll just let you know. So you see this thing, this white thing behind her? This white thing? Betty is now doing a whiteboard of her own. That little whiteboard, she expects us to be able to read stuff off of it. And she's going to keep it behind her, she said. Like, you got to be kidding me. How are you? What? She said, this is a really nice one, too. This is a really nice whiteboard. It just looks like a whiteboard you get at, like, Target or whatever. So, okay, Betty. But she'll probably talk about it some more. There's nothing on her board yet, though.
Other, and that breaks my heart. I'm very,
and almost speed
very,
her up
very
a little.
sorry to hear that. I really am. We'll just take a few moments. If everybody would like to, maybe throw some blue hearts up in the chat for Anne. And just take a few moments, maybe 5 or 6 seconds, just of silence. I'm really sorry to hear that, Anne. Yes.
Right now, she's just talking about someone in the chat lost I think they lost their son. I'm not sure, though.
The grief. And you're a mom. I got to tell you, one of the hardest things is a mom losing a child. It's one of the hardest parts of my job is that, it's hard for the father, and seeing a father break down just breaks my heart, because guys don't, are not accustomed to crying or showing emotion. But it's.
When has she ever worked a case where she's seen the parents of or parent or anybody break down over any case? No.
Still doesn't compare.
I'll say Idaho 4, and that was about it. But I don't even think they broke down. Like, they did that interview pretty well.
To a mom and her pain that she goes through. I'm really sorry.
Why is she talking so low?
Well, tomorrow's church, and we'll definitely be praying for you in church.
She ain't going to church.
Kendra, Gypsy, good morning. Michelle, I got time today. So do I.
Why's she live
Good morning, Izzy girl. It's nice to see you. I thought after Harmony's case, we would be more serious about child abuse. Yeah, you would think. You would think that we as the public see these huge gaps in policy and huge issues, but it's astounding that our federal government doesn't see it or doesn't fix it, or it takes an act of Congress just to get anything fixed. There's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things, and our government having to be told how to handle their business it's ridiculous. Why are we paying them if they can't handle their business? That's my point. I think all of this stuff needs to go, like, it's federally funded. It's state, I guess, sponsored. It's ran by the states. I don't know how the whole thing works. We need to dive into the children and family services and what goes on there. Shelly, it's nice to see you. Good morning, Robin, Gigi.
She fights for the children, but she doesn't know anything about children's services.
Mr. and Mrs. Carguy, it's nice to see you. Baby Duck, a true psychic, it's nice to see you. Oh, Nola's mom, hey. How are you doing? And we just want to give a shout out. I know Merle's mom is still out there watching Bullhorn. Betty, probably not able to really chat, but we're always thinking about you. So I just wanted to say a big shout out. Hey, Southern Grammy. I don't know if she's in the chat yet, but it's nice to hear from her and see from her, because she's the one that, was in a car wreck. She had just started advocating and just got a business, and then boom, everything changed literally in a split second. It's hard to watch the struggle. SRK, it's nice to see you. Paula, good morning. Michelle,
she's still going through the names.
Kisses to you too. It's nice to see you. Oh, our beautiful Stuffers, the original coin of the coffee beaners. Coffee beans. Oh boy.
Her laugh on 1.5 speed is like golden. We need a sound bite for that.
His doctor didn't do him right. He had an abscess on his liver, and he had Crohn's disease.
Okay, they're talking about
his husband. He suffered from him, and I have somebody that has Crohn's disease. Oh, you guys are so sweet. We got a loving family here. We do. If I missed over you, I just want to say good morning to everybody in here. We already got 290 people here, and I've already chatted for almost 20 minutes about everything besides the topic of conversation. We're going to get over to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and we're going to listen to Silver's on the Scene. I had.
Oh my God. That's where her information's coming from. I want to let you know this title says breaking. Sebastian Rogers, how many more lies? Well, how many more lies are you and Silver's going to tell? Silver's talks to himself in the third person. It's weird to me. That's weird to me. I'm going to start talking to myself in the third person. Tanya doesn't like this.
People about it, and so I decided to do some research this morning and decided that there are a couple of videos. It's going to take us a little while that we need to listen to, and part of my research, I came across somebody in our group, and I wanted to read this stuff to you because this is about the unscrupulous PI, and everybody.
Your group
keeps thinking.
And are you talking about SF?
This great guy, and he's not. He is part of this corrupt organization. And every time we turn around, we learn something new about how dirty and nasty this guy is. And this is no.
They haven't learned nothing about him. Whatever, Betty.
Different. This is the PI versus Justin Pincus. And this particular case is another case where he slandered, defamed, bullied, stalked, and all of these other things for, and then tried to sue the guy to absolve himself of any wrongdoing, even though it was just a way to try to get away from doing dirty stuff. So I want you guys to hear this. This was actually posted on October 28th, and it's on Justice for Sebastian. And it says a few excerpts from another legal case this investigator is involved in, and all of this public record. This guy really has been like this: defamation, doxing, blackmailing, death threats, relentless harassment, accusing people of DV, domestic violence, and being unemployed or mentally ill, threatens to have people arrested.
I have some stuff to tell you also about Dog and Nick whenever we're done.
Over nothing, terrorizes family of missing children, even accuses someone of falsely posing as law enforcement officer. He did the exact same thing this time around in this case, in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. So now we're showing a massive history. Like, this guy is doing this. This is an unscrupulous PI. Is he licensed? Yes, he is. Is he legitimate? No, he's not. And I do believe 100% he lied on applications to get the licensing. And we will be getting to the bottom of it in due time. But what he's doing is unlawful. It goes against his PI license. And he's a disgusting individual. He's a disgusting individual that seems to always attack mostly women. So that should tell you how he feels about women. He's abusive. He
helped me whenever I was covering the Chelsea Grim case. I could, email him, I could tweet him, and he would tweet me back a lot. And I accidentally deleted the damn thread, but he still has it on his end. But he would always help me with it. Really nice guy, in my opinion. And I've known him since Kylie Rodney back over 2 years ago.
Verbally abusive, and when he doesn't get his way, he tries to throw people in jail. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? He also has complaints against his license in Tennessee 2 years before becoming involved in Sebastian's case, but for some reason it was ignored. One of those was mine, which was very well pled as well. This is insane. He has been involved behind the scenes since April, and he has a pattern. He's a common denominator, and he's absolutely the root of the chaos.
Behind the scenes. Like you behind the scenes. So the Proudfoots, they can't have a PI come out and investigate. You say they're not looking for Sebastian. Okay, bitch, man. You say they're not looking for Sebastian, so they get a PI. You're saying that he's been, their PI since April, May, whatever you said. That's not even true. But if it was true, why would you be mad about that? Why would you be mad that they have someone out there that has, search and rescue training, that has a lot of training? Why would you be mad about that? And Betty, why would you be mad about that?
This is what it says. The defendant has not filed any false defamatory police report because he's the plaintiff. He tried to negate his responsibility and being in trouble because he's got, police reports filed against him. So he did this. He thought he was smart by preemptively trying to sue this guy, right? And we all know who this man is. And we know that what the defendant is saying in this case is true about this unscrupulous, unethical, and unprofessional PI. And it says the defendant hasn't filed any false police report. Here's the highlight part. The defendant has filed legal and legitimate police reports against the plaintiff for his continued stalking, harassment, threats, and doxing of his private information, including cell phone numbers, address, and real-time location.
I want to see the documents, Betty.
Here's the next highlighted area.
Show us the receipts.
It says the plaintiff continued to escalate his harassment, including threatening contact the defendant's clients and all. So he's not only doxing, but he's actually saying, I'm going to reach out to your clients and start telling him this. Does this sound pretty familiar, doesn't it? Sounds pretty familiar.
Did did Mr. Lesnick maybe write this up for you to read? Because you're not showing us, you're not showing us what happened. You're just telling us. And I don't like that. I like to be shown receipts. I don't know about y'all, but I love me a good receipt,
Plaintiff continues to escalate. Remember, the plaintiff is this unscrupulous PI. The plaintiff continues to escalate his harassment, including threatening to contact defendant's clients and all to cause him reputational and economic harm, and to contact his parents to get him forced evaluated while alleging the defendant had mental illness on his Twitter to his Twitter followers. Does this sound familiar? It seems like he's using the same playbook, the unscrupulous, illegal, unlawful playbook from case to case. Let's listen to the next highlighted part. This was just the plaintiff's latest effort to imprison defendant falsely. Sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Here's another one. It says, this includes the plaintiff's problematic tendencies, such as being verbally abusive to dozens of vulnerable.
Betty, you've been arrested 44 times, and on half of your reports where they marked your appearance, they marked it as dirty. Girl, go take a shower and be quiet. Like, seriously, not trying to make fun of you or nothing, but that's a problem. That's a problem. You need to work on that.
Women psychologically lying and frequently contradicting claims, reported threats, and death wishes toward others, manipulative tactics and narratives, and fabricating professional licensure, to name a few. Wow. Wow. Let's read the next highlighted part. The defendant's knowledge at the time of filing this, only the state of Tennessee closed the defendant's complaint without investigating. I had an investigation on my complaint, while others are still under investigation. Let's go to the next highlighted part. The defendant agrees that the plaintiff was never fired from these missing person case because he was never hired for them. And he knows this, but this is another attempt to mislead the courts. Instead, the plaintiff inserts and embeds himself into families of missing persons, even admitted to stalking out the real life physical location of one family, preys on another family's desperation, sells himself as a professionally licensed private investigator where he often isn't licensed.
The person that has 4 protection orders out on her. 4 of them, and she's broken all of them. Funny. Why does she have a trash bag hanging over her chair, like a Walmart bag?
Obtains information under false pretenses. The plaintiff then engages in unprofessional, irresponsible, reckless, abusive, defamatory, and sometimes other unlawful conduct. Sounds pretty familiar.
I don't believe any of it.
Sounds like a pattern of behavior.
Show us, Betty.
The defendant will also highlight again that the plaintiff that provably made allegations about the defendant committing DV, domestic violence, and threatening to post the non-existence charge on Twitter. Sounds really familiar. Defendant claims that he was a licensed private investigator that donates significant numbers of hours to pro bono or volunteer work to locate missing persons, have multiple holes and contradictions the published statements. He unlawfully promotes himself and performs.
Betty's just mad because SF has done more investigating, more boots on the ground than she ever did for Sebastian or will ever do for Sebastian.
Private investigative services where he was not legally licensed. California was the most evidential. He abused and defamed multiple families of missing persons and their advocates. The defendant will be submitting statements from a few, as previously stated. The plaintiff advises himself as a paid investigator online who charges $1,000 per hour, $1,500 per hour, and or $2,000 per hour, which are rates regularly rotated between every few days and weeks, which in and of itself raises a lot of red flags. The plaintiff only claims to be pro bono and volunteer when it comes to legal matters like this, or when trying to justify his unlicensed private investigation activities. Sounds pretty familiar.
Sounds like Betty.
The defendant at no point attempted an unusual amount of interaction between himself and the plaintiff being the unscrupulous PI, despite the plaintiff's outrageous claims. The defendant has struggled since March of 2022 to get plaintiff to leave him alone and stop his obsessive tweeting about him. Wow, sounds pretty familiar. The plaintiff knows that the defendant has been predominantly and successful.
Is this the court hearing that he's going through right now with that missing 911 guy on Twitter that has been stalking him? Because I've been on Twitter and I've seen the whole thing go down, and that missing 911 guy was trying to leech on to SF like a freaking cockroach.
Prominently and successfully involved in the missing person
there's something wrong with that guy.
Community from its initial start in the summer of 2021, before the plaintiff launched his harassment and defamation campaign of the defendant. Unprovoked, the defendant and the plaintiff had occasional and cordial communication, including the plaintiff asked the defendant for help with his alleged photography website. The defendant publicly stood up for the plaintiff when he was mocked over old photography work. The plaintiff congratulated the defendant for his success in locating a missing woman and reuniting her with her family. The defendant asked the plaintiff for help with missing case, and he publicly and privately agreed to. While the plaintiff claims the defendant began defamation against him with Coty, C-O-T-Y. This is another highlighted part. This is, again, sounds very familiar. The plaintiff, being the unscrupulous PI, did in fact author and had a third party send
defendant?
Cody Eady a letter blackmailing her to keep quiet. Otherwise, he would release communications that Cody Eady felt could destroy her marriage. Sound familiar? If you don't do what he says, he's going to destroy you. If you don't work with him, he's going to expose you. Sound familiar?
That's what happened with Chris and Katie and Betty. Betty tried to reach out to Chris for an interview, and he said hell to the no because he's smart. No, thank you. And that's when she decided she was not going to be Katie and Chris anymore. She was going to go right over and leech on to SF, and that's what she did.
Familiar? The defendant had possession of this digital letter. The plaintiff has admitted publicly.
You're talking about digital things. You're talking about like somebody doing something over Twitter. I don't care about that. You said you were going to go buy a GUN and go to Tennessee, go to Tennessee.
Sending this letter to third-party acquaintance admitted to the defendant that she sent the letter on the plaintiff's behalf, expressing shame for doing so. The plaintiff seems to have lost track of his lies, as he had publicly admitted on Twitter to sending the letter to Cody Eady and also accidentally tweeting it to his own account himself before deleting it. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds like a pattern of behavior. She even agrees at one point to file a police report against the plaintiff, which is the unscrupulous PI, noting to the defendant that she was scared of speaking out against him publicly. I am not. He's trash. He's unethical. If you have a story related to this unscrupulous PI, please come forward. Give me an email of your interaction with him and what happened, and we'll turn that over to the attorneys. Please.
Why are we turning everything over to the... How can we do that? Who's paying for the shit? Now, all of a sudden, it's not, it's not just stuff about tips about Sebastian and stuff. Now she wants stuff about the PI. She wants stuff about Queen. She wants stuff about Granny. And it's all going to go to the lawyers. Who's paying for this? You can't just throw things at lawyers and expect them to do it without paying them, right? I mean, that's how my lawyer works. He doesn't do nothing for free. Well, sometimes he does, but, that's just because we're cool.
Please come forward and give us that information if you have been a victim of this unscrupulous PI. And we have quite a bit on him. Publicly admitted on Twitter sending this letter to Cody Eady. We read that. And then here's another one. It says she even agreed at one point to file a police report against the plaintiff, noting that the defendant, that she was scared of speaking out publicly against him. The defendant has documentation for both his communications with Cody Eady and screenshots of similar conversations she's had with others. Seems awfully
Show us what you're reading.
The plaintiff, i.e. the unscrupulous PI, continues to make public threats toward Cody Eady even after she deactivated from social media, terrified in fear from initial blackmail letter, which eventually influenced her to change her public story. Sad. I can tell you, Pete, there's nothing.
You know what? No, I don't believe it till I see it, because she hasn't scrolled down not one time. And when you read a legal document, the writing is so big and weird that it's not like a regular paragraph if you were to write it in font 12 or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I haven't seen her scrolling like she's going through a document. I want to see it.
Nothing that man can do to make me shut up about his horrible business practices. It's unlawful, it's illegal, and he should be in jail. Never mind the fact that he impersonated a person and filed a federal document against me in a federal court, acting as another person and lying under oath saying he was a different person altogether when it was totally him doing it. He had control over the email. He's the one that filed the paperwork. He's the one that signed attesting under oath that he is a woman and not a man. He is unscrupulous, unlawful, and should be held accountable for his actions. Just saying. The plaintiff continued to make public threats of blackmail. The plaintiff has used her.
Yeah, you should be, Betty, you should be accountable for your actions. You're absolutely right.
Has used her changed story to continuously defame the defendant, as many female victims of abuse men can attest to, and as Cody Eady confirms to the defendant and other privately, she's changed her story to try to make this all go away, fearing her safety from the plaintiff. Pretty scary stuff. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The defendant was in his constitutional rights to file a police report, given that the plaintiff would not stop stalking, harassing, insulting, defaming, threatening, and doxing his private information online, all of which the plaintiff escalated over time. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The defendant has never posed as law enforcement official, despite the plaintiff's claim. The defendant believes that the plaintiff...
Who does that sound like to you guys? Stalking, harassing, all the things. Betty, are you reading your own documents? Are you reading your own court papers right now?
Plaintiff fabricated this allegation.
Oh, sorry.
To distract from his own unlawful promotion of himself as a licensed private investigator where he was not licensed, and his unlawful offer to minors in an active investigation, which the court may find to be impersonation of a police officer. The defendant never claimed that the plaintiff that plaintiff worked under him. The defendant did, however, invite the plaintiff into the case that he had expressed permission from the family and local police detectives to be involved in, and subsequently had commitment from the plaintiff to help him on after the defendant. I can't remember. I can't read the rest of that. But but you guys see, it sounds
because it was saying there right there that he was hired by the family. You were just getting to the good part.
Very, very familiar.
Now it's cut off. What document is cut off? Like that?
Plaintiff attempts to continue to bully the defendant with his lawsuit by suggesting he couldn't find any friends of the defendant, that he needed mental health treatment. The plaintiff knows he could have reached out to any of the dozen of the defendant's friends from within the missing person community who the plaintiff being the unscrupulous PI, that has contact for. But he knows they all oppose him for the same reason the defendant does. His history of abusive, dishonest, and defamatory conduct toward the defendants themselves, families of missing persons, and others. Wow. So this has been going on for years. This unscrupulous practice has been going on.
So this is like somebody's opinion. This is not even a document. We haven't seen anything. This could be, all for we know, this is Betty typed something up last night while she was laying in bed.
For years, affecting many, many, many victims.
She should know better, not bringing no damn receipt.
Let's keep going. Sounds pretty familiar. That's all I got to say. Sounds like a pattern of behavior, if you ask me. Sounds like somebody that would want to stifle that down, like creating distractions. I'm not a party to this. Let me put this non-party thing in. So if anybody sees me getting it, they'll just assume that it's because of the non-party filing. No, you are a criminal, in my opinion. Sounds like
you're a criminal. Betty, I want to make a shirt today. What should it say? Let's make a shirt, something for Betty.
I'm not alone. If the plaintiff actually believed the defendant suffered from mental illness, he would have sought other remedies, not financial extortion via a frivolous lawsuit. The court should agree that people don't entertain and take to court somebody who they think is mentally incapable and unemployed, who claim that they want to help the person, but asks for punitive damages at the same time. Wow. How small is your little D, unscrupulous PI? Because you know what? You got to have a real small one to have to act this pompous. Everybody knows that somebody acts like this has got a little Twinkie in their pants.
Whoa! She just went there. Betty Boop. We got to rewind. Oh, SF, I hope you hear this one.
Yes. How small is your little D, unscrupulous PI? Because you know what? You got to have a real small one to act this pompous. Everybody knows that somebody acts like this has got a little Twinkie in their pants. Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying, she said.
The defendant has not filed any false or defamatory police reports. The defendant filed legal, legitimate police reports against the plaintiff for his continuous stalking, harassment, threats, and doxing of his private information. The plaintiff continues to escalate. Was this regurgitating everything I just played? Force evaluate. I think so. Yeah, I think this is just repeating all those. Yeah, I think we're done. Yeah, that's it. So talk about wow. And this is legitimate reporting. This is corroborated from public record.
It's not legitimate because none of us have seen it. None of us have seen it.
So this was from 2022. We're almost
public record. You didn't tell us the defendant's name, so how would we look it up? How are we going to find it? What county was this in? Can you give us a county? You have to give us a county. You can't just give us a state, Betty. We need a county.
2025 doesn't sound like he's changed his practices or procedures, and it sounds like it's time for us to start taking it seriously. That this person that lied on multiple applications to be licensed as a PI doesn't know what the heck he's doing and is committing crimes under the guise of a private investigator. And then he's trying to interject and say, "I'm the only private investigator." Well, if you look at how you got that private investigator's license, I'm sure if you told the truth on some of those applications, you would not have been provided a private license, a private investigator license. He's unscrupulous. And he, quite frankly, needs to be shut down. I think once the courts see how ruthless he is and what he does to these families, it's going to prove that he's not a licensed or should not be.
Well, to me, it looks like, him and Katie and Chris, they get along pretty freaking well by the picture. A lot more than we can say about you, Betty.
Licensed PI. So just thought I'd put that out there. It's just like, wow.
Thought I'd put that out there.
I just want to show you our victims. Somebody else did this.
Oh gosh.
Here's our victims, all of our victims in Tennessee, all of them know these, like Summer Wells has been going on since 2021. The two girls in the middle, Layla Santinello and Holly.
She has been harassing this family since 2021.
And Snap have been missing since 2023. And of course, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers have been missing since 2024. None of them have been found. Nobody's been held accountable. And all four are, of course, in Tennessee.
Come to Ohio. We're all missing here.
Just saying. All of them are in Tennessee. I know you guys can't see it, but it says justice for Sebastian up there.
You can't see it at all.
I guess I'm gonna have to make the bubble letters. I was hoping it'd come in clear, but it didn't. So I'll make bigger bubble letters and color them in so we can see it a little better.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so getting on to our meat and potatoes.
So that's what she's going to do. So behind her by her ice machine, she's going to put a sign up that she's going to make on her little whiteboard that says justice for Sebastian. And then every time she switches the case, she's going to put justice for, you know, whoever on it. Sounds great.
Of this,
and you can't even
I
see
thought it
it.
was, I think we should hear Silver's on the scene. This is the
Oh, I love
visit to the job site, the stepfather's job site. And no, it's not stalking to follow the leads of a case, a public interest case. Everybody else is allowed to go to these places, but Bullhorn Betty. I find it disgusting. I find that this communist county is violating my rights, right and left. Other people can do it, not be charged or held accountable, but somehow when I do it and don't talk to anybody, I am.
Oh, now she's mad at Silvers, but she's going to play a shit.
I'm stalking and harassing people. I can't be harassing people if I'm not talking to them. If they choose to come over to my
You ran up on his car, Betty. Is she on rugs?
My show and choose to watch it. That's the choice that they're choosing to make. They can't blame me for what's coming out of my mouth. I have a right to say whatever the hell I want to say in America, and I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say in America. And if I go
and there are repercussions for those things that you say.
Too far, guess what they can do? They can sue me for defamation, but they better bring their ass to Florida instead of trying to do all this stuff in Tennessee unlawfully. They're trying to shut me up through protective orders for what they perceive as defamation. And it's co-signed by an idiot judge.
Oh.
I'm so sick of this place. But they're so scared of me, they keep dragging me back here. So I've decided I'm going to rent a place. I'm going to become a taxpayer, and I'm going to be making sure that I'm.
She would know. You had it right the first time. I'm so sick of this place means I'm so sick of this case. Meaning she's sick of the bull crap. She's sick of, you know, she's going to get in trouble.
I'm there to vote in their freaking their votes in 2026 and in 2028. I'm absolutely going to be a voter in Sumner County. I don't think they know.
Your one vote's going to do something.
Right, people, and I don't need harm or violence to do what I need to do. But I am an American, and I'll be damned if my government's going to try to control me when I'm not breaking the freaking law. Damned. Just saying.
Just saying.
Let me stop. Hold on. One thing. Let me jump in here. What I was told, and everything in here is allegedly, in my opinion. So I was told information. I'm about to share it. I think it's big. I think it's huge. I was told information by a co-worker of Christopher Proudfoot's. So I'm taking
that goes against what the investigator says.
I'm not going to share any names. Okay. There's a couple of details. I'm not going to get too specific. I'll get specific enough.
They never do. Every time, if you ever hear people say, I'm not going to say any names, I'm not going to tell you my source, I'm not going to be specific, I'm going to leave a couple things out, they are lying to you, bro. Silvers is a liar. I'm telling you right, I'm calling it out right now. He's lying about this. If he does not show me some receipt with a man with a video saying that I work here and for Chris Proudfoot and he has a badge or something to show me, I ain't believing it.
Enough you'll understand. But just to make sure.
I mean, the guy went out and dug a 2-inch hole and then he was like, yeah. And he did that because he had a psychic tell him that's where she thought Sebastian was going to be. Like, so he goes over, he digs 2 inches and he gets too tired. It's too hot. It's in the summer, you know, then he leaves. Then he goes to an abandoned house. Sorry. He says he's so scared. He's so nervous to be in this abandoned rundown shack of a house that he shouldn't even be in because that's trespassing. So he goes and he gets 2 women to come back with him and look. 2 women. Okay, that's smart. You're a smart guy, Silvers.
Make sure, you know, there's no blowback back to the person I spoke to. But here's the big thing. I'm going to take what I was told and then I'm going to put my spin on it, right? Someone says this and I'm going to tell you what I think about that. And that's allegedly, in my opinion. And I may repeat that throughout the video, but
I will not repeat it throughout the video. It's in my disclaimers. It's always been in my disclaimers, in my description. It is what it is. I go out, I look at things, I report back what I find. People can take it as fact. They can take it as opinion. It doesn't matter to me. But for my statements, until and actually, you know, a lot of the stuff that we find out where people have already told law enforcement, it can't be taken as fact. This person has spoken to law enforcement about the stepfather. So whether they want to release the information or not, they can't say it's a lie. Or otherwise, prove it. Show me it's a lie.
Also taking what I was told is allegedly, in their opinion. However, they interacted directly with him as they worked with him. So just want to throw that up there. So that's where we're at. And back to, we will not forget you, Sebastian. That's a promise. You're going to see how relevant that is and what I'm about to share with you. So the job site, as you know, in my video of searching in Memphis, as well as yesterday's recap, where I talked about Memphis. I really didn't even know I was going to go by the job site when GPS was taking me to my location to search. Did not know I was going by the job site, and there it is. And you see the cranes, right? We know Chris was a crane.
Just be careful, Silvers, because I'm just saying they're going to be coming after you next for stalking and harassment because you're reporting information on your YouTube channel, and they like to stalk people and blame people for stalking them when it's really just the opposite. So just be careful, my friend. Just be careful.
Tower crane operator, right? And so he worked on one of those cranes. Now, this is big. Information from the job site. Chris Proudfoot job site. Did you know? Because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I put the did you know in there because I don't think I knew any of these things. I knew things related to them, but you're about to see what I was told. I did not know this. And after being told these, I got very emotional, and I'll explain that when I cover everything I was told. But did you know? So as you listen to these things, did you know these things? Because I don't think these things are out there. And it's going to lead us right to, we won't forget you. The people that are out looking and searching for Sebastian, who are trying to bring him home and find him. But did others forget you? Did others forget you on the same day you went missing?
Wow.
Allegedly,
very powerful information.
Yes, they did.
Very
so let's dive into it.
powerful
Right?
information.
Let's dive into it. Let's not waste any time. You know, I watch YouTube videos and I go, why are you wasting so much time? Let's dive into it. I'm going to do it like this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this up here. And that is right here. And then I'm going to throw this up there, right here. Okay, so here's what we know.
Let me just turn this light off so you don't have the glare. Okay.
We're going to do this like this because I'm going to reveal these things to you as we go through. I'm going to keep Sebastian over here so we can see him. What did I learn? What did I learn? So here's how this came about. I made a visit to RV to make sure, an RV place in Memphis that I'd never been to see if
we have 519 people in chat, guys. If you guys can go out or hit the 3 dots at the bottom and give me a thumbs up, I greatly appreciate it.
If Chris had stayed there, because based on where I was looking.
If you don't like Betty, like the video. Hit that like button if Betty gets on your nerves. If you don't hit the like button, Betty's going to wait. You're going to wake up to Betty looking at you over your bed tonight.
It would make sense for Chris to stay there. The closest RV to the job site. While I was there, I learned a lot. Let's jump into it.
Good point, Karen. It doesn't really matter. They lied to the judge. They lied. The judge knew that this was not stalking. He made a stretch. He knows he made a stretch. I keep reviewing all Tennessee law, and I know exactly that it was a stretch. So I'm very, very upset about that.
I was able to speak to someone who worked with Chris, because Chris is not working there now. You know, one of the questions somebody asked, I was talking to more than one person. Where's Chris now? I don't care where Chris is. I'm not worried about where Chris is now until we.
Nobody is. Nobody is. We're searching for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Just FYI. That's what I was out there to do. That's what.
You have never searched for him. That pisses me off. You have never, ever, ever searched for him. Betty, you're a bull-faced liar.
Silvers is out there to do. That's what Seth's team is out there to do. Nobody gives a rat's patootie about this Yahoo.
We find Sebastian.
And Seth's team, it must be Seth's team. Seth's not out there looking, I don't think, because we'd have that on video.
And when we do, then we'll focus on that. That's your get justice part, right? Get justice. Let's find him. Let's keep the awareness live and find him. So what did I learn? Here we go. Diving in. Big. RV, not a job site.
Guys.
So by coming by the job site for the first.
And just to let you know, we did state that at the beginning because, well, when I went there, because I had spoke to people and they said there's no way anybody that's employed there is staying on the job site with their RV. There were work like trailers there for offices and stuff like that, but there's no place in that area to put an RV. Just FYI, we reported that, and everybody was saying that was not right. I knew that it was right. I knew my statements were right because I spoke to people across the street from this job site.
Time to say it. My thoughts are.
Betty, you're a liar.
You could not put, not just Chris, but anybody that worked there could not park their RV on that job site and just wake up and come right out.
Nobody would ever say that they parked their RV on the job site. We all know that for a fact that you can't do that. There's too many machines, trucks, all that coming in and out. What do you mean?
Out and work. There's really not room for it. So talking to the person, I said, hey, could he have put his RV here? Oh, no, absolutely not. No one can. Okay, so there were a lot of comments. Oh, Chris was at the job site, his RV. It was not. Not only was it not at the job site,
his RV was parked where it was parked at Yogi Bear, and then he was at the job site. What are you talking about? When he was supposed to be at work, he was at work. What? Oh my gosh, Silvers, what are you talking about?
The RV was not at the Memphis part that I was speaking to. Okay, it's
How do
about
you know
8
that?
miles from the job site, 6 miles from the location I was looking at when I was looking for a possible body bag. Great, straight shot into the RV. From the RV to the job site, so it would make sense. And there are people that work at the job sites that are staying there. We discussed Yogi and Easy Days and all these other ones, but this one, he was not there. Furthermore, the one thing I didn't discover, one thing I did not learn is where he was the night Sebastian went missing. The thoughts were this, because I asked the question, the thoughts were more than likely Yogi. Okay, but we're not 100% sure on that. Okay, what's next? Shady. Shady, not to trust. The words I was told were this. I believe he's a shady person and would not trust anything he says or does.
Who said this?
I want to remind everybody this is coming from the person that worked with the stepfather, according to Silver's on the scene. And this is what the person has told Silver's. Okay. So this is somebody's opinion about the stepfather that they work with. So I just want to clarify that this is opinions. This is not fact, but the fact is somebody did tell Silver's this, not
This isn't a
necessarily that
fact.
the information told to Silver's.
That's not a fact. Silvers is lying through his damn teeth. He wants to just be relevant in this case. I can't believe how people are so gullible because his videos get thousands and thousands and thousands of views. And he just spits bullshit. I'm about to start doing that. I'm not even kidding you guys. For the next 2 months, you might hear me over on the True Crime channel sounding a little crazy, sounding a little out of pocket, because apparently that's what everyone wants to watch.
Was fact, if that makes sense.
Crazy.
Would not trust anything he says or does. That's really not revelation, because we've all heard him in his interviews where we see him or where he calls into channels or podcasts or ever how he's talking.
We were told he lives a private life and wants very private time. He's not doing anything to put himself in the public light, but we have literally more than a half a dozen interviews on social media and mainstream media, which contradict that statement that was given to the judge in my court case.
This is allegedly, in my opinion.
He is a man of few words, really.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know
He's not like Seth. He didn't do over 100 interviews.
Chris Proudfoot. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him. All I have to go on are his own words and behaviors.
Amen.
And I've said this before. Go back and find some videos.
God,
his words and behaviors make him unlikable.
Amen.
Make him suspect.
Seth, that makes him unlikable, in my opinion.
Amen.
This entire scenario.
Amen.
Where is Sebastian Rogers? Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one I saved. I put it kind of in the middle. Relieved at 11 a.m. Yeah, there's that pause. Let me pause a little longer. Relieved at 11 a.m. Chris was deemed unsafe on the job site.
Whoa.
Chris was deemed unsafe on the job site.
What was this, the day that Sebastian went missing? Because if it was, yeah, he would be deemed to be unsafe because his mind and his brain wouldn't be there, and he's a crane operator. A crane operator.
Oh.
Chris was deemed unsafe on the job site.
I don't believe any of that.
Yeah, you heard me right. Unsafe. Safety risk for himself and others. That is a big
Safety risk for himself and others.
Unsafe. Safety risk for himself and others. That is a big job he does. If you don't understand tower crane operator, let's just throw this picture right here back up. You see how tall these things are? You see that these buildings are made with iron. These are iron beams, steel beams that are lifted up by these cranes that Chris operates. So what I'm saying is, if you got to be clear-headed, you got to be sharp and focused.
Yep.
And evidently Chris is. He wouldn't be doing this job. Let's give him credit. Evidently he's sharp and focused, and he can operate one of these. Because he's up there. He's way up there himself operating this thing. But on this day, ooh, we don't want that revealed. Hold on. On this day, at 11 a.m., 4.5 hours. That's right. 4.5 hours after reporting his stepson missing, meaning three-way call with Katie, 6:30 a.m. Not only is he still working, he's still working at 11 a.m. We'll talk about that in a minute. But he was relieved because he was not focused. Not focused. Off. O-F-F. He was off. On the same day, his stepson goes missing. So he was relieved.
He wasn't off. Why would he be off?
He wants to tell you, everyone listen, myself, anyone who will listen, that the reason he didn't get home till 1:30 or 2, leaving the job site at 11, I don't know if he specifically said 11, but he probably did, was because no one was there to relieve him.
Yeah, you can't leave the job site.
Wow.
Allegedly, in my opinion, but
Allegedly, in my opinion. I'm just reporting what we're finding. That's all, y'all.
hey, I've been told.
If he's doing a crane, he can't just leave. There's people around the crane. There are other, other employees, other workers. They need to shut down the whole damn, like not the whole site, but that part of the site. And then get somebody in there that knows exactly what they need to do for the day. They can't just get up in a crane and start throwing things around. You'd have to have somebody that knows what they're doing, like, hey, do you know, we're building this part of this section of the hospital today. We're putting windows in. Do you know how to do windows or something like that? Like, Silvers, think rationally, like common sense. Come on, guy.
There were more than one relievers. There was at least one reliever, possibly two on the side that day. Come on, Chris. Let's move on.
That's bullshit.
Arrived 6:30 a.m. Chris,
I am stopping right here. Why is this so important?
Yeah, why is this important?
This number, this right here, is so stinking important. Why? Because of the Nancy Grace interview. What was said in the Nancy Grace interview? Okay. I'm going to state it, not verbatim, because I didn't pull the Nancy Grace interview. Sorry, y'all. But we can search for it. But I know, actually.
But she doesn't know.
Exactly where it's at because I wrote it down on a pad. I got to find the pad. I think it's in my bag. Anyway,
Sure.
Let's just get back to why is 6:30 so important? Because on the Nancy Grace, now I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying this verbatim, so do your own research. It is on the Nancy Grace interview. Where was Nancy Grace's interview? Of March 25th. March 25th. We might locate it so we can listen to it. What was stated on there is that he was confused. It might even have been the green shirt interview. Somebody's gonna have to help me out with this. But he stated that he was in his tower crane when he received the phone call that morning from the mother. The mother states that she made the call within 3 minutes of waking up and realizing her child was missing, which we can equate if she wakes up at 6 a.m. and it took her 3 minutes before she made the phone call to the stepfather to report her son missing. That would have been about 6:03 in the morning. This is just their statement. I'm not putting anything into this. You guys can remember it, fact find yourself. And then they state there was this point where he said, well, I was a little confused. I was in the crane and I had my crane earpiece in this side and my phone earpiece in this side. And I was like, huh, what? Well, if he didn't get there until 6:30, how could he be in the tower crane with his earpiece in at 6:03 in the morning? That's why it is so stinking important about that 6:30.
I thought that
because law enforcement was called.
I thought law enforcement was called later, around 6:30 or something, because she was looking for Sebastian before she called. She was in the car, driving around looking for him whenever she called. I'm sorry, whenever she called Chris.
At 6:33, 3 minutes after he arrived at work. So what is true here? Let's just keep listening to Silvers. You did a lot of great work. Big shout out to Silvers for this great commentary and investigative work.
What's the thing make you believe 5:15? Why would he need to be at the jobs? Let's think about this for a second. Why would a tower crane operator, when no daylight is up, it is dark, why would he need to be on the job site at 5:15? I think you've seen some other creators go out there and see.
And I want to say this. This was not only lied about, this was perpetrated and disseminated by Seth's own PIs because they didn't know what they were doing and they don't have an investigative bone in their body.
Look at her hand shaking. She ain't got it like JLR with the camera.
And so everybody believed, because they believed these two PIs were reliable sources working to find Sebastian. And they literally put misinformation out, disinformation out, and they did it constantly and consistently, thinking that they were helping when they didn't know their ass from a hole in the wall. Sorry, not sorry. The proof in the
others may show up, inside workers, drywall workers, many different types of construction people at 5:15. What I was told is there would be no reason to be there before 6:30 a.m. And then you're going to start in your crane around 7. 6:30 is when he's reporting his stepson missing. 4.5 hours later, he's relieved. Why tell us it's 5:15? Come on, Chris. Focus off. OFF, unlike other days. I told you, I'm going to give Chris credit. I will give people credit whenever I can. I'd like to give Chris a lot of credit. Chris, you're listening to this. Talk to me.
Hold on, guys.
We gonna talk.
Sorry. Little. If you're going to get up, but don't cry. Okay, sorry. She was trying to get up, but apparently she's now wants to run away from me.
Tell me, Silver's on the scene at yahoo.com. Silver's on the scene at yahoo.com. Silver's on the scene at yahoo.com.
Silver's on the scene, yahoo.com. Yo, Silver's on the scene, yahoo.com.
You are making yourself unlikable. You are making yourself untrustworthy, shady, not to be trusted, words and actions. Words and actions
Words and actions. Huh.
just make you like that. Your focus was off, unlike other days. You ever watch Columbo? Columbo will notice when someone's focus is off. Law enforcement notices when someone's focus is off.
Are we sure about that? Because it doesn't sound like anybody knows their butt from a hole in the wall some days. I don't know.
Let's refer to other cases, high-profile cases. Just think about them. You'll hear on the media, you'll hear about law officials going and saying, hey, Jim, how was Bill the day his son went missing? Was he normal? Was he upset about his son? Did he want to find his son? Was that why he was off? Or was he just normal, like a normal day? Behavior and focus. This day, a guy who's very sharp, he has to be sharp to do this job. But on this day, his focus was off, unlike other days. And we're going to end it with this, and we'll cover them all. This is the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just say I get relieved from my
So
job.
no one can have an off day?
Let's
say this is true. Nobody can have an off day?
Whoever it is that comes over and says, hey, man, we're going to have to pull you off. You're just not
Man, you're
focused.
still slow.
Then you would think, okay, so let's take Chris's words. I was relieved when they got a reliever. That's why I had to work till 11, okay? So you would think he's reported Sebastian missing. He gets off the phone at 6:30, turns to his supervisor if he's on the site there or on his way to site. When he gets to work, hey, man, my stepson's missing. I need to get out of here as soon as I can. Now, I would leave right then. Hell, I would call him. I wouldn't even be on the job site. Soon, I would be headed towards Hendersonville while I'm on the phone with Katie and the law enforcement and the sheriff or whoever they called, right? And I'm on my way. I would have probably been there 3-hour drive. We know this. I've done it 5 or 6 times, 3-hour drive. I've been there at 9:30. I don't think Chris, out of his own words, got there to 1:30, 2 p.m. He was working. So when they come to relieve him, and you would think, you go, I'm so sorry. I know I'm off. I probably should have been working. My stepson has disappeared. We don't know where he is. He didn't know. He didn't report Sebastian missing to his work. What?
Does anybody find that odd? I'd like to see a show of hands, because we just got out of the Leilani trial, and they're trying to blame Daniel
She didn't do
Youngkin
anything with that.
for this child's condition. But when Leilani called Daniel, he didn't even clock out. He ran out of the building. Now, mind you, Quentin was not his son. But he didn't clock out. He didn't ask for relief. He ran to his car, got in his car, left work unannounced, and went to his house to find out what's going on
No, he didn't.
with his stepson, because
He absolutely didn't leave his job unannounced.
it really wasn't a stepson, but he had a
What
step-parent
did he do
role
that?
in Quentin's life. And
Oh,
then
she's talking about Quentin. I'm like, what are you
you have
talking
this
about?
polar
I
opposite
thought she was talking about Seth.
of where this step-parent sat there and worked and kept it all hush hush. Like, I don't know any parent or step-parent that's missing a child that wouldn't go and pull their manager aside and say, I have a private matter that's going on in my house and I don't want everybody knowing about, but we don't know if our stepson, my stepson ran away from home or something bad happened to him, but I need to go home and I need to go home now. Do you have anybody to cover me? That's kind of how the conversation went. We've all had tragedies go on in our family. We've all had things that happen while we were at work, especially if you're a parent or a grandparent. Something has happened that you needed to leave right then and there. Right then and there. You didn't lie to your manager about it. You didn't broadcast it to the whole company, but you let your direct supervisor know that something's going on and you have to leave for the day. And what needs to happen to accomplish that goal? You've got to go. What, you don't want to leave your crane unmanned. What do we need to do here? That was not discussed. He wanted it hush at work. And then let's talk about the behavior we learned from the news reporters. So I'm going to take this as fact, because I don't see why the news reporters would lie about this. And we have a news organization saying when he arrived home, he told them not to videotape his home. Seems like he really wanted to be hush hush about this. That morning, when seconds and minutes matter when a child disappears. Their life depends on those seconds and minutes. And every time you withhold this child from the news or withhold this information from the news, it's putting that child at a disadvantage. What parent wouldn't be screaming from the rooftops that their child is missing and everybody needs to be looking for him? In this case, they were literally telling the news not to show the house and not to talk about it, basically. I've never, in all of my years watching true crime and the several years I've been covering true crime, this is a first for me personally. An absolute first for me.
So let's think about this. Hang the phone up with Katie. Law enforcement's descending on her house. Boom, big searches. Everybody's out looking for Sebastian. Chris Proudfoot allegedly, in my opinion, based on what I was told, gets off the phone and goes to work. And 4.5 hours later is still working. I'm just visualizing moving those levers and picking up that steel and that iron or whatever, and lifting it up to where they can put it. He's working, and his stepson is missing. His wife is all sorts about herself. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on?
I can't stand to listen to this guy. You know what I mean? He is just something else.
Are you 4.5 hours later? Now, here's the question I have. He was relieved. Not his doing. He didn't say, raise my hand, stepson's missing.
Did Betty switch computers? No, I guess it was always so gray. It looked like it was pink before, so.
Get someone over here for me. He was working. The first question I have, what would have happened had he not been relieved? Would he have worked the full shift?
Yep.
I'm assuming 7 to 3. Maybe they go 7 to 7. I don't know. 7 to 4. Would he have worked the whole shift? And then told us that there was no one there to relieve him? Not only did he not report him missing, when I was told that he was relieved, I asked the question this. I said this. So he probably said, like, stepson's missing. Oh, no. We had no clue his stepson was missing.
Okay.
I said, what? You mean to tell me this guy's working 4.5 hours and he hasn't told anybody? He said, no. We didn't learn this till after he was gone.
What?
We didn't learn this till after he was gone. We didn't learn this until after he was gone from the job.
He was driving on the phone with Katie while he was calling the police. They were doing a 3-way call. And he was on his way home. So what are you talking about, Silvers? What are you talking about? He didn't stay on his job for another 4 hours when he was on the phone with the police. He's the one that made the call. Remember?
So, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? I think we've been asking this question since day 1, day 2, February 26th, February 27th. And now the questions just flowing even more as we're learning this information. So let's recap. Let's recap on this. Let's follow a timeline. Katie calls Chris, can't find him. Okay, these are what they're telling us. Can't find him. Let's call the sheriff's department. Why, Katie? Why, Chris, you didn't call 911? 911.
Because they knew if they called 911, they would be redirected because 911 isn't in every city, in every town. You don't have a 911 center in your town. I mean, you may, in big cities, but you know what I mean. So he called the direct line to talk to the police directly. I think that's a pretty smart idea.
911. Beep, beep, beep. 3 numbers. Boom. I'm going to ask a question. Was it because 911 is recorded?
No.
Allegedly, in my opinion, that's why.
Every call that comes into the sheriff's department, if you guys don't think that they're recorded, you're freaking rich. You're really stupid. You're really, really stupid. Like, you guys got to listen. If they're gonna like record outgoing calls from the jailers, they're going to record incoming calls for their own records. They're going to say, they might not even say this is a recorded line because the police station. I don't even think they say that. I think they just record it, right? They just record it. Research, exactly.
You didn't call 911. So they report him missing. Christine gets off the phone with Katie and not get in his truck and head east to be by her side to look for his stepson. He started working. Tells us had no one to relieve him. Now we know there was at least one there to relieve him, if not 2. And that he didn't stop working at 11 on his own. He was relieved. He was pulled off the job because focus was off, unlike other days.
Hey, Joel, it's nice to see you, my love.
His behavior was off. He's a sharp guy. Let's go back. I keep going back to this. He has to be a sharp guy to operate these. But on this day, the day this boy went missing, his stepson, focus was off. What else? Do not trust him. These are people working with him. Who knows you better than really 2 people? Your spouse or your coworker, right? There's those jokes. She's my wife work. He's my wife husband, right? We spend the most time with the people we work with.
You don't really work with the same crew every day.
And the people we live with.
Amen.
Roommates, family, spouse, co-workers. Not to be trusted. And no, he could not have that RV. Nobody could on that job site. So what do we say with all this? We scratch our heads and we go, wow. So for me, when I approached to ask,
what are you getting into?
Did Christopher Profit stay at this RV? I was looking at a minute or less. Yes, no. Take the flyer. Thank you. This turned into about 15 to 20 minutes.
Hey,
Now, I
Barbara.
did leave my phone number, and
Hold on a second. Joanna wants up. At least she says she wants up. Let's see if she'll get up. Come on. Oh, there you go. Now you really want up. Okay, now sit down. All right, sorry, guys. Got to take care of the kiddo. Texas Cowgirl Up says, thank you, BHP, for keeping Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers alive. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you.
Oh, God.
I might lose my freedom over it, but we're going to still keep going forward. We know that there's a
Yes, we
story
do.
here. We know that there's a case here, and we know that there are several people lying through their damn teeth. And I'm not going to be ashamed. I'll walk with my head up high on this one.
I don't expect a call. I don't, I'm not looking for any really more information, because let me get to this part. And that's this. And I'm going to bring him center here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've told you, I'm compelled to find Sebastian Rogers. I'm compelled to do what
We are all compelled to do it. I will tell you, this is a labor of love. Nobody would go through all of this from social media if they weren't laser focused on trying to bring this child home. I'll tell you, I would not be going through this if I'm not laser focused on bringing this child home.
whatever I can when I'm not working my full-time job, providing for my family to pay my bills. When I have time, I'm looking for this teenager, this boy who should not be missing. Okay. And I've told Silvers too how passionate I am about it, because not only should he not be missing, but in my opinion,
Silvers too. What?
other than his biological dad, his mother and stepdad did not protect him.
Amen.
And that's just wrong.
So if you guys would like to see the rest of it,
In my opinion, Sebastian walked out that door on his own. Now, could it have been because of all the changes that were coming up in his life? Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
that's the bulk of it for Silvers on the scene for that video. But what eye-opening that was, and I know we've known this information for a little while, and to have it corroborated again, in multiple times. Like, we've heard from people on the ground, multiple people that I was out front of there. I was across the street on one of the side roads. Like, they have the big project, and they have the main road, and then it's a side street right in front of the gate where they had the trailers that were either storage or offices or something like that. And there's a big gate around it. I was away from the job site over there, but people were parking, getting there early and parking on those side streets to get a parking spot. And so they were there early. And so they were standing around and were willing to talk to me. And that's when I found out this information myself. Well, now he's talked to, so I talked to several people about it. They've confirmed it. That's why I went ahead and I had no problem telling my audience about it. It had been corroborated and confirmed by multiple people. To me, it's fact, it's true. Then we had Silvers go out there and speak to a direct supervisor of someone, somebody up higher up than the people I spoke to. I spoke to the labor pool. I spoke to the people that were going inside and working in the building on the first floor under the lights, the people that do arrive there early. And so those were the people I was speaking to. Well, he spoke to somebody that was part of the crane crew and the management of that. And so now we have several people I spoke to telling me the same exact thing that this person is telling Silvers on the scene. To me, that's fact. To me, that's corroboration. To me, that's multiple witnesses, multiple people saying the same exact story that have no connection to one another. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. Look at this little girl.
That's huge. That's
6 whole
huge.
pounds this little brat is. 6 whole pounds. She's spoiled rotten. She's spoiled rotten.
6 whole pounds.
So, those are things that we need to take into consideration, it's just like, wow. I was hoping to get over to the second video, but I'm looking at our time and I realize that this is going to take a little longer. Well, this is another topic all of its own, and that's related to the dinner on Sunday night. So I think what we'll do is we'll wait for that conversation for later this afternoon. I think I'd like you guys just to digest what we've learned from Silvers on the scene so far, what his work revealed, and go back to my work at that and listen to exactly what I said standing out on that side road in front of his St. Jude's job. Oh, thank you, Gypsy. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much. I want you to go back because it's titled. You'll see it. I've got the picture of his job in the thumbnail. So go back and listen to it.
Oh my
and I want
gosh.
you to hear what I tell you guys in that video. And then I want you to go back to the Silvers on the Scene video and re-listen to that. How are we getting this? I'm not affiliated with Silvers on the Scene. I don't know the guy personally. I've not talked to the guy.
You guys are
personally.
buddies.
I think I've had maybe one interaction with this man by email. I don't know him.
Well,
How in the world can him and I have the same exact story when we have no
One
affiliation
email?
with each other? We don't talk to each other. And we're both out at this job site and have the same exact story.
because you're part of the team.
The same exact story. That doesn't happen. That means
Poor
the people on the
Layla,
ground were
or
telling me the truth,
Delilah.
and his supervisor or whoever. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast, it's nice
Oh.
to see you, loves.
Huh. Perfect timing.
it's hard to have the same, listen to, I mean, almost spit and image statements. I think my statement was all next to verbatim. Next to verbatim. If you guys don't see, I got my whiteboard in use. It says justice for Sebastian. I have to make the words a little darker. It looks perfectly clear to me turning around, but the light in the distance, you can't even hardly see it. So I'll have to change that for the next one. I love the whiteboard. We're going to be Carl. We're going to be holding it up. We're going to be connecting the dots on it. You guys are going to see it. It's going to be cool.
She thinks she's the first person to do a whiteboard. We all have got them. Everybody's got them. I got 2, 3 hanging over here. You just don't see them because they're on a different wall.
Oh, it's going to be cool. I got plans for the whiteboard.
Look at that little whiteboard.
But that's just really interesting. He did find out some more information though than I did. Okay, and that was because the people I spoke to didn't know this guy. They just talking generally that the crane crew wouldn't be there. But they get there between 6:30 and 6:45. He confirmed 6:30 for this man.
Okay, I'm done with Betty. But I do have more to show you guys. That's actually more interesting than Betty. Let me see here. And let me turn my camera on for a minute. Say hi to you guys. Even though I'm like in the dark. Well, you can't even really see me, but hello guys. Maybe if I turn on this little light. Oh, that was bright. Okay. Hello. I'm usually on, the camera, but today I wasn't. I was doing my makeup. I should have just done it on camera. So we read this last night on Titanium Built, which is my other channel. I have a true crime channel that we just talk true crime over there. So if you're interested, it is called Titanium Built, and I can drop the link in the chat. I believe it should be a Nightbot, but actually I don't think it is because I never put it in there. I don't think so. I'll have to do that. But this is from the dog. And it says, a portion of the proceeds from my upcoming meet and greet in Gunnersville, Alabama will be dedicated to Sebastian Rogers to support him upon his return home. We won't stop until we bring him back. So they're saying that this money is just going to sit there until Sebastian comes home. Why is he going to need money when he comes home? Like, why would he need money when he comes home? Like, I mean, unless you're putting it towards therapy or something, because like something like, something happened and he needed it. And then there was something on next. So it looks like Dateline might be picking up the story. And I'm not sure if I can stream Dateline. I know that there's a couple of them. They're really weird about it. I think Dateline's one of them. But if I just don't monetize it, I can do it. So I'd have to do it for free, but I could do it on our main channel or the other channel. So it says here, NBC, Dateline NBC, anyone with information about the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Roberts. Oh my God. They didn't even get his name right. Well, this is starting out great. I read this earlier too and I skimmed over that. I didn't catch it. And Nick retweeted it. Did anyone, let's just poke one here, see if anyone got it. Look at this. No one has even caught it. I'm such a troll. Okay. Yeah. Roberts is asked to contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Office Sumner County or Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. It doesn't say on here from Dateline to contact Nick the Hat or Dog the Bounty Hunter. But it says Heather Cohen, which we listened to. I think Heather Cohen was part of maybe one of the podcasts that we listened to for Idaho. Which I have to still upload a few of those. I was going to do that today, and then we came over and did this. But I'll get at least one done tomorrow for you guys. Yeah. So it says Heather Cohen also works on missing persons cases. One case that is particularly close to her heart is Sebastian Rogers. He is missing from Sumner County. So I don't know. And they might be picking up, or they might just be retweeting it. But What is these? What? Oh, Heather Cohen is the person that was missing. Okay, she was the missing person. I'm thinking of someone else. Who am I thinking of? Let me see this Dateline producer person. It's a real person. Let's see where the original post. Where's the original post right here? Well, they fixed it here. Yeah, Heather's the PI that was like fired, I thought. Yeah. I don't know. That's weird. That is weird. That's weird. Everything's so weird in this case. Let's go over to SF. You can see I don't ever get on here. Why is it? Okay. That was something for something else. Okay, here we go. Bullhorn Betty, November 1st. Bullhorn Betty is a hypocrite who attempts to prevent others from raising funds to defend themselves against meritless lawsuits, yet she violates GoFundMe terms of service by seeking donations for her own criminal defense. This should not be allowed. Sent to GoFundMe this morning. Wow, this is long. Dear GoFundMe legal team, I am writing to formally request the removal of the GoFundMe campaign created by Sonia Elliott Nicely to fund the criminal defense of Andra Griffin, who is charged with 6 violations of orders of protection. I believe this campaign violates GoFundMe's terms of service. The campaign seeks funds for Griffin's legal defense in a criminal case involving multiple violations of protection orders issued by a court in Tennessee. These violations include harassment, stalking, and intimidation, all directed at grieving family of Sebastian Rogers, a missing 15-year-old autistic teenager. The organizer of the fundraiser is a Tennessee resident, though the campaign lists Andra Griffin's hometown. I am a licensed investigator in both Tennessee and Florida, authorized to investigate the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers on behalf of his mother and stepfather. So he is authorized now. For reasons of self-promotion and financial gain, Miss Griffin has harassed his grieving family while their 15-year-old son remains missing. These family members who hold court-issued protective orders against Miss Griffin have experienced significant distress due to her repeated violations. Within days of the orders of protection being granted, Ms. Griffin was charged with 6 counts of violating these orders under Tennessee Code, a criminal defense punishable by jail time. I have inserted a screenshot of the docket from Sumner County, Tennessee, documenting these charges. And then there's all of her charges. GoFundMe's terms of service prohibit campaigns that seek to fund legal defense in case involving harassment, stalking, hate, or intolerance. Ms. Griffin's campaign directly violates these policies as it attempts to fund her defense against criminal charges for actions that fall under these prohibited behaviors. By allowing this campaign to continue, the GoFundMe is inadvertently enabling Ms. Griffin to further torment and harass the Rogers family, adding to their grief and distress as they search for answers regarding their missing child. Ms. Griffin has an extensive criminal history as an adult. She is currently free on a $20,000 bond and continues to harass the family despite the orders of protection. Ms. Griffin cites the First Amendment as justification for her actions, but she clearly misunderstands the limitations of the First Amendment and its applicability to criminal conduct. Very much so. That's exactly what it is. Given the nature of the she just doesn't give a fudge. Given the nature of the criminal charges and the GoFundMe's clear policies against campaigns funding legal defense for hate-driven or criminally offensive actions, I urge you to review this matter and promptly remove the campaign. Allowing Ms. Griffin to raise funds for her criminal defense not only violates your platform's rules, but also compounds the suffering of the family already enduring unimaginable grief. Thank you for attention to this urgent matter. I am available to provide further information and documentation if needed. So, wonder if it's still up. Like, it would be smart for her to take her money out. I mean, like, if she thinks that, like, it would go through. It's still there. It says stand with Betty. Look at her goal. Look at her goal. So, I've decided that I'm going to do an Amazon Wish list. It's only going to have one item on it. It's going to be a house. That's what I want. A house. Since everybody's getting shit, since everybody's getting computers, cameras, microphones, you know, all the things, I want a house. So I want a house. Oh, I really am going to make something up where it's like that, like something really funny. I need something like extravagant though. You know what I mean? To make it to where it's like, you know, where everyone will know I'm kidding. Like I'm not being serious. Hey Mo, and welcome in everybody. But that's all I really had to show you on the whole Betty thing. Oh my gosh, she's something else, isn't she? I'm gonna go pick out some florals, which I don't know if I'm gonna. I was looking at Hobby Lobby earlier before I got like, you know, on my live, and sometimes they have like really good prices, but then other times they just are like expensive. Florals are expensive, you know, like dry florals for your home. I I'm a shopper. And I don't have, I can't, I'm not gonna shop anymore. I'm gonna give myself a cutoff, but I can't I don't know if it's gonna be a week or a month. Though. I'm trying to figure that part out. But I always like to buy things for the house. I cannot help myself. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But we have so much. We do. We have plenty. You know, when it comes to stuff for our home, I can't fit anything anywhere. There's no room. It's good. But I did get 2 new pots last night. They were on clearance at Target. And actually I got 3, but one of them I'm not going to put flowers in, I think. So of course, now I need to go get some flowers for him and figure out where I'm going to put them. Captain. Holy water and Betty would be like a bucket of water. Dorothy tossed it the Wicked Witch. She says she's going to church on Sunday. She's online. I bet you she's online Sunday morning. And she'd be like, I'm sorry, preacher. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's what she does, like her Southern voice. And I'm like, what the fuck, Betty? Who are you? Like, who is that? Where'd you come from? She does. She makes my head hurt too. Aries Bjork, is he in there? I didn't see Aries Bjork. There he is. Hey, Aries. And hey, Chopper. I saw you come in. Hey, Chopper. Thank Chai. Everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate y'all. Can't really see me too much. You can see my makeup cart though. My little makeup cart. I look really pale, y'all. Ooh. Looking pale. Might have to do a little spray tan or a tan. But look at my like cute little sweatshirt. It's like a little 2-piece set. You can't see it, but it's like so comfortable. It's so soft. I like to go for softness, and I need to go out and just do a couple things. So I was like, do I want to dress up and wear jeans? No, I don't. A caboodle. See that? I wish I can fit my makeup in a caboodle. I have like a lot of makeup which I don't wear. I never used to wear makeup until like recently. I go through spurts where like I won't wear makeup. Oh, there's my jewelry. I won't wear makeup for, you know, months. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wear makeup again. So I have like Clinique makeup up here, but then I have this makeup that's like the spray makeup. I have like a whole huge container of this stuff that I don't even like. Look at this. Overconsumption at its finest. I never use a spray tan anymore. Or spray makeup. I liked it for a little bit. I don't know. I'll probably still use it. I use it here and there. I go through spurts, so I keep it. Yeah, and then I just have like the regular. I like Clinique makeup for the most part. Captain, yeah. Men have it so much easier. I hate y'all. Your skin, like Vincent, he has the best skin. It's like moisturized. It's not like greasy, but it like has like a shine to it. I don't know how to explain it. And I think it's probably because he just drinks a lot of water and he eats really good food compared to me. Like I'm a junk food eater, but he is. I was forgot to have the trigger warning. Watching Petty, yeah. Oh my gosh. My blood pressure. Speaking of which, okay, so I think I know what's going on, but it sucks. So Vincent buys this pre-workout, and it's like it's not like the regular pre-workout you get at the store. Like this is only like next level pre-workout. Like you just want to like work out. You're sweating. You know you're getting it in. And I love it. But I took my blood because I was like, what is causing this to happen? So I took my blood pressure this morning and I was in the green. I think it was like, oh, I forget what it was, but it was something over, it was like 114 over 84. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like it was so good. It was so good. And then I took the pre-workout and I waited about an hour afterwards. And when I took it, it was going up. So it was like more in the yellow because it's like, green, yellow, red. So I think that's what it is. So maybe I'll just go back to the other one, see if I can we have another one that's like not as potent. See if I could do that one. If not, then no more pre-workout for me. I like pre-workout too. Oh yeah, you can always watch it too. Church on the computer. Hey Kelly Bird, welcome in everyone. We're just chit chatting. Chopper, you're the best. Yeah, like a healthy glow. Yeah, he does. But the other day, someone took picture of us. Oh, actually, I have a little TikTok. Does it have a song? I think it has a song. But let me see if I could bring up a picture. How would I do that? Because someone took a picture of us. It was really cute. But he said, "Oh my gosh, look at my white hair." I thought I put it on YouTube, but maybe I didn't. Okay, let's go to all. We never get pictures together anymore. And this lady just happened to ask us, like, when we were leaving, she was like, "Do you want to get your pictures taken? Like, you want me to take your picture?" And I was like, "Sure." So let me see. Non-filtered picture, which I'm not filtered now, but I sometimes will filter my pictures. Okay, open. And then I'm trying to look around my big old cup. So it's like, okay, so we can pull this up. We went to a pumpkin patch. Where'd it go? Is it not going to come up? That's weird. Oh, there it is. Okay. There it is. I said, "What are you doing wearing black, like a black shirt?" He wears a black shirt to work every day. So let me show it to you guys. Here we go. There we are. Went to a pumpkin patch. There was like nothing there though. Like there was no pumpkins. So, but we ended up buying all the ugly pumpkins that we could find. We found a bunch of the ones that needed a home. And I think we're gonna carve them this weekend sometime. Oh, Isabel, someone's coming to get you, girl. You better be careful on those phones. Is it a landline or is it your cell phone? Mine does that sometimes. It won't like ring. But it'll light up. Oh, thanks, Ashley. He is the cutest. I can't find this. I can't find this hole in my ear. These earrings are weird, but I like them. Oh, it's a landline? I haven't seen a landline in forever. I saw a payphone the other day, though. This isn't even in my ear. I have a mirror. I can grab it. There we go. Oh, no. Yeah, maybe I'm nervous because you guys are watching me. I've only had my ears pierced for 39 years. I can't get it in there. Maybe it's just not meant to be. I'm determined now. Is it clipped? Okay. Yeah, hopefully I don't lose it. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. But I think I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm gonna go find some florals. And I don't know what else I have to do. I don't think really anything. But I'll be back on tonight on the other channel on titanium built. More than likely I'll be on titanium built, not this channel. But we'll probably do maybe open case discussion, or we'll find a case to discuss. We'll find something. We'll figure it out. But I appreciate you guys all being here today. I really do. I really, really do. And I will see you guys all tonight or tomorrow, whichever channel that you are on. Like I said, I do have another channel. It's my first channel that I ever had on the platform, and it's just true crime. We cover all true crime cases. We deep dive. We do all the things. And I want your comments and your thoughts on what we could do to even improve the channel. So let me know. And it's titanium built. You can look it up, and I'll put the link in the chat as soon as we're done with the live. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.